would like to thank Haley and the Gray Matters Collective for all they do for mental health awareness and advocacy. Thank you for the opportunity to share Logan's story. Next, I would like to thank Sarah and Jeremy Troutwine. Their generous donation to the Gray Matters Collective from their annual dart tournament in Logan's memory led to the opportunity for me to speak tonight. Logan came into this world as a preemie, born 10 weeks early. From the beginning, he was a fighter who overcame many challenges. Logan was a fun-loving guy who cared greatly about his friends and family. Growing up, he and his younger brother Ethan had a great relationship, even though there was 11 years difference between them. He was the kind of guy who would give the shirt off his back to help someone and expect nothing in return. He had an infectious smile and a wonderful sense of humor. In the fall of 2023, Logan started making some changes to his life. He was distancing himself from some friends and reconnecting with others. He talked about moving and finding a new job, and none of this concerned me at the time, as Logan was 27 years old and told me it was time to change some of his lifestyle. We first noticed that something wasn't right with Logan in November of 2023. He called me one weekend while at work saying he didn't feel safe because of some of the tasks being asked of him and some of the things he was seeing. It didn't make sense to me because Logan truly enjoyed his job and had never had any concerns before. In December, signs of Logan's mental struggles became fully evident. He had been talking about getting a physical earlier in 2023. Logan made and canceled several appointments for a physical. I offered to go with him to the doctor's office for the last appointment he made. He planned to meet me in the parking lot since I was working that day. When I called him that morning to touch base about the appointment, he said he'd see me at the hospital. I sat in the parking lot later that morning waiting for him to arrive. When it was close to his appointment time, I called him to see if he was about there. He told me he wasn't coming because something bad was going to happen to him if he did. When I tried to reassure him that wasn't the case, he accused me of wanting him to come because I wanted him dead. I tried getting a nurse to talk to him, but got no support. Logan and I spent about 6 hours on the phone that day as he drove around, not telling me where he was or where he was going. During his drive, he asked me who I had following him, even though there was no one following him. I kept him on the phone, trying to figure out where he was and trying to get help. I had called my husband Terry from another phone to let him know what was going on. Eventually, I got Logan to meet me at Terry's mom's house. It took several minutes to convince Logan to come in the house, as he was sure someone was waiting for him inside. When Logan finally came inside, I realized that he had a gun in his sweatshirt pocket. I went to the bathroom and texted my husband to tell him to call the police, as Logan was not himself, and I was worried for his, mine, and Marlene's safety. The police and ambulance came. They took Logan to a Quad City Mental Health Hospital. Unfortunately, that hospital was too full to admit him, and they had to look for another. The hospital was not able to find somewhere to admit him until about 3 a.m., because other hospitals were full as well. During the wait, Logan continued to tell me stories that didn't make sense. Logan spent the week leading up to Christmas 2023 in a mental health hospital. They released him on Christmas Eve with medication, therapy appointments scheduled, and unanswered questions. While we were glad to have him with us for the holidays, it didn't seem like much progress had been made to help his mental health issues. January and February were challenging, with some days being better than others. With his mental health issues, Logan did not understand the importance and benefits of taking his medication correctly. We tried many ways to support him with this. Logan and I had several conversations as he was calling me night and day as many as 5 to 10 times an hour. We talked about helping him get better, how he could make an impact and a difference in the world, how he wanted to get more involved in a church. There were also harder conversations about getting him to doctor and therapy appointments when he didn't trust people, and another accusation by Logan saying I wanted him dead. I also asked him on multiple occasions if he had ever thought about suicide. He always told me no. One weekend in January, I saw the old Logan, laughing and having fun with Terry, Ethan, and I. It gave me hope that maybe things were going to be better. 2 years ago today, on the morning of February 28th, 2023, Logan had a therapy appointment scheduled that I was going to take him to. Before the appointment, he came to our house for breakfast. He and I talked about the appointment. He was asking if I thought he was going to get better. I said we were going to do whatever it took to get him better. We also talked about him going back to work, as he'd been on leave since December, and living back at his house, as he had been spending most of his time at Terry's mom's house. He gave me a big hug before he left to get ready for his appointment. An hour later, while I was driving to Marlene's house, I called him to make sure he was ready. He said yes. Within a couple miles of the house, I told him I'd see him in a minute and hung up the phone. When I pulled into the driveway, Marlene called my phone saying, "Help me." I ran into the house and found Logan in the bathroom. His battle with mental health was over, as suicide had taken his life. In the days that followed, I discovered that minutes before Logan lost his life, he had made a very large donation to Barker Farm Outreach, an area nonprofit that helps grow food for people with food insecurities. Even during his struggles, he was still that guy trying to help others. I will forever be grateful for the first Henry County officer on the scene that day. Before he left the house later that day, he told us two things that I continue to hold on to. First, he said, "Don't ask why. You will never know." I know that Logan did not commit suicide. He lost his life to it and the mental health battles. Instead, I asked myself, why more is not done to support mental health? I encourage you to support mental health awareness, education, and advocacy in whatever capacity you are comfortable with. The second thing he said was, you did the best you could with what you had at the time. I truly believe this is true in Logan's case. There were many who were trying to support him and find answers. In the short time we helped Logan fight his battle, we learned a lot about mental health and the battles people fight, as well as about many opportunities in the mental health system. Since Logan's passing, I have sought out therapy, and through this have learned the great benefits of doing so. Doing our best with what we have now means supporting the efforts to normalize mental health conversations and help even one family not have to go through the tragedy that we have and still continue to endure. In closing, I would like to leave you with words shared with me by Kathy Barker from Barker Farm Outreach. Have the best day you can. Logan, we will continue to hold you in our hearts and continue your legacy of helping others. We love you and miss you.